Merits of public corporation. First point, as we can see, is that it enjoys a great deal of autonomy in its day-to-day operations and is free from political interference. Now clearly it says that there is an internal autonomy. Internal autonomy means you can say all the internal activities, there is a freedom. The employees, the staffs, the management can freely do whatever they feel like, whether be it in connected to their day-to-day activities or whether it be related to taking any of the important decisions. They can do as per their wish, as per they feel it to be correct, without any kind of political interference. Next merit is quick decision. It can take prompt decisions and quick actions as it is free from prohibitory rules of government. Now, what does this mean? It means that any kind of decisions can be taken quickly, any kind of actions can be performed on a quick manner. Why? Because no rules as such are implemented over here. Okay, there are no rules of the government implemented over here, no prohibition, no control. Whatever the public corporation want, they can do as per their free wish. So that is why we can also say that red tapeism is not existing over here. Remember red tapeism, what did we discuss? We discussed that red tapeism means too many formalities, too many paperwork, too many legal proceedings, isn't it? So the second advantage is quick decision, and also to that we can say that a public corporation is free from red tapeism. There is less paperwork, less formalities to be completed, and that is why any kind of prompt decisions or any kind of quick actions can be taken over here. Understood? Point number 3 says service motive. Their performance is subject to discussion in the parliament, which ensures proper use of public money and protection of public interest. Now, as because the activities of the public corporation, or if you say the statutory corporation, is discussed in the parliament, what happens is that whatever activities are done by these public corporations, they are in relation to public interest. They properly use the public money and help in solving the problem of people, or if you say they actually provide service to the people in a very better way. Why? Because whatever they do, their activities are to be discussed in the parliament, and that is why they use the public money properly, they work in the public interest, and they provide service to the people. I hope this point would be understood to you. Moving on to the last merit, it says efficient management. Why? Because the directors, the top executives are professional people. They are experts of different field. And that is why the management that they form is quite professional, is quite efficient. Understood? So these were the 4 merits related to the statutory corporation. Now, as we all know, a coin has 2 sides. So let's have a look onto the demerits as well. First point what we can see is autonomy on paper only. What does that mean? It means that whatever freedom, whatever flexibility is provided to the public corporation is just for name's sake. Actually, what happens is that the government people, the political party, different ministers, they often interfere with the working of these corporations. And that is why the freedom or the flexibility which the public corporations should actually have, that they do not get. Understood? That means the autonomy or the freedom is on paper only. It's just for the namesake. In actual reality, there is an interference provided by the political party, by the government officials, by the ministers and other peoples. Understood? Demerit, point number 1. Now coming down to point number 2. It says lack of initiative. Now, why there is a lack of initiative? The public corporation do not have to face any kind of competition. Why? Because they enjoy monopoly. Monopoly means they are the one in their own field. There is no other competitor. Now, as because they do not have any competitor, they do not have to face any competition. And as you all know, if there won't be any competition, then will you feel to work hard? No. Same thing happens over here. They are not having any initiative, they are not having any eagerness to increase the profit or to work in an efficient manner or to do something good for the organization. Understood? So let's read what's written. Usually they enjoy monopoly in their field and do not have profit motive. Do not have profit motive means even if they earn profit, it's normal for them. Even if they run through losses, it is normal for them. So that extra effort or any kind of initiative is not provided from their side, which is why they turn out to be inefficient. Point number 4 says unfair practices. Now, where there is a dealing with the public, rampant corruption exists. Thus, public corporation is suitable for undertaking requiring monopoly powers, example, public utilities. Now, these points mean that as because the public corporation is directly or indirectly involving in the public activities, in public interests, what they indulge themselves in, they may indulge themselves in few kinds of unfair practices. Okay? There may be signs of corruption, there may be unfair practices going on in the public corporation. So that is a disadvantage. And point number 4, that is the last point, it says rigid structure. Why rigid structure? Because if we recall into the features, what did we learn in the features? We learned that the powers, the objectives and the limitations of the public corporation are defined in the act. Which act? The act through which it is formed. Correct? Now, as because the powers, the objectives and limitations are predefined in the act, they means the public corporation may feel themselves to be involved in a rigid structure. They do not feel flexibility. The powers is mentioned, they have to follow that. Their objectives are mentioned, they have to follow that. So even if they want to change something as per their own wish, it's a little difficult. Now, how can that be changed? That can only be changed in case they make an amendment in the act. Amendment means any kind of change. But that amendment, we all know, is a time-consuming process. Nothing can happen on a quick basis if we relate ourselves to changes in acts or changes in laws. Right? So because of this reason that the objects and the powers of the public corporation are defined by the act, and this act can only be amended, but it takes a lot of time. So that is why there is a rigid structure. They find themselves enclosed in such a system where they have to follow whatever is written in that act. So that is why it's a rigid structure. Understood about the demerits? So let's come down to the suitability. First point, the public corporation is suitable for such an enterprises which require special power under an act. Secondly, the public corporation is suitable for such an undertaking where huge investments are required. So that is all for today. We'll meet you in the next video. Thank you.